Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Marvel Future Fight v690 live stream. And I say live stream so weirdly because we are live. I am so happy to be here with you all right now. I am actually right here at home, but as we all know, I'm not the only part of this stream, this live stream. And we have a lot going on today because the basis of v690 is Defenders and Eternals. We have a new character coming your way in the form of Ikarus, our very first Eternal here, and we have uniforms for your four favorite Defenders, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and of course, Daredevil. You can earn rewards by watching this stream here today. All you have to do is keep watching and wait until the end for the survey link to pop up. If you're not seeing it, please refresh the place where you are watching this stream currently, and you will likely see it then. Then all you'll have to do is get your ID by going in-game to Settings, Info, and then hitting Copy. That way you'll have everything you need to make sure we get the right reward to the right agent. That's you, I hope. All right, we have a lot to get into today, so let's get it started. First, check out this video. All right, that was some fun action. And speaking of fun, it's my friend Cage here, live from outer space.
Yeah, I'm certainly glad to see you. Space is a little bit cold here, but I gotta say, luckily we have ourselves a little jacket he was wearing. But I gotta say, yeah, I like your style. I like you have a nice little jacket there too.
Thanks, Cage. It's almost as if you saw it earlier and then put on a different leather jacket.
Well, I didn't steal your style. I was going to say I saw it earlier and I felt inspired. And I gotta say, I mean, like, think about it. We have an update featuring the Defenders, which have a stylish new look, and I thought, what better way to have you update with style than to be stylish ourselves? So
it makes so much sense. All the sense. Cage, I missed you, buddy. We have a lot to get into, and of course, you are our guide for all the new update information.
That's
so
right.
I'd like it if we could get it going.
All right, so we do have a lot of information to share with you today, so I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. Just bear with me, because as I said, we have a lot of information to dive straight into. So we're going to go ahead and start off by taking a look at Jessica Jones.
Yes, and I do want to remind people that this build that we are working off of right now is not necessarily going to have the same numbers and details as the final build, which you will receive.
That's right, so some of the information we might show may all be in the update, some of it may not be, so just go ahead and, like I said, stay tuned and bear with us. So as you can see, Jessica Jones has a very far different new look. It's a bit of a classy but heroic look. Kim, what can you tell us about the new Jewel uniform?
Well, it's a new look, but it's also an old look for Jessica Jones' story because she started her superhero career as a classic costumed hero by the name of Jewel. This is before she became the more hardened defender that we know of her to be now as a private detective who will be there for anyone.
That's right. So this the basic of her look. Let's go ahead and dive right in. But before we do, let me give a brief little explanation regarding little perks that come with the uniform. So because it's, of course, the new uniform, some new passive skills are changed. So for example, two changes that come to her uniform are for her telepathic resistance and power woman skills. For example, for her her telepathic resistance, not only does she continue to gain her 100% immunity to mind damage, she also gains a 50% buff to her all attack stats. In addition to that, she also gains a 25% HP recovery when she's below 35% health. Again, those percentages and numbers may change later on, but that's just a tad bit for opening up how the uniform starts. But anyway, so those are the passive skills. We know you want to see the actual skills in action. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right. So you can see she's already good to go. Let's take a look at her basic skill. Yeah, basic, she's a brawler. She's a combat character. This uniform comes with 6 new skills. Let's go ahead and open up and gather everybody in, have them all grouped together a bit. I'm actually going to refresh for a brief moment. There you go.
This is live, folks. This
Yep,
is the
this
proof.
is live. This is where all the fun action happens. Let's go ahead and open up with her first skill. Right, you see leaves enemies in a bit of a stun. This is the first skill, nothing too flashy, but this is referred to as the jewel pin spin kick.
It's very fast.
All right, of course, that leaves enemies stunned. No additional stats there. Let's go ahead and open with the second skill. This is the sleek punch storm. Take a look at that one more time. You can see she dashes about and then punches the enemy. So not only does she leave the enemy with a bit of a fractured state, she ends it with a stunning punch. There, flashy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get back here. I'm going to refresh because they're all over the place. Now we're going to go ahead and open with her third skill, which is the untouchable power.
Whoa.
She gives again several more punches and kicks and then dashes from behind. And you've noticed the enemies are actually left in silence.
Because they're so stunned.
Yeah. Well, actually, believe it or not, they actually are stunned, actually. There some stats that come with that are stunned, silence.
Yes.
In addition, that also grants you a little brief bit of immunity there. All right, so we're done with that skill. Let's move over on to our friends over here. We're going to input up with our fourth skill, which is a bit interesting. So let's take a look at this. So if you notice what she does, she actually kicks, I believe she kicks the ground up first, or she throws it up, and she just pummels them to death. As you notice, like the concrete actually falls into a little bit of tiny pieces and rains it down on them, and then finally takes the last piece and then slams it down. This is referred to as the meteoric slam. This attack not only stuns the enemies, as what happens when you're slammed with, in the face with a street, but also it also gives you a little bit of an attack buff as well.
I like how she whittles it down.
Next is her fifth skill, which is the forceful suppression. Now this is actually a defense down skill. So not only will this decrease your enemy's defense, it also increases your overall attack, defense, speed, and critical stats. Alright, so it does it for her fifth skill, but like I said, she has 6 skills. And usually, what follows up with that? She, of course, has an awakening skill, as, of course, you would have seen in the teaser. So let's go ahead and check it out. And, of course, she summons her defending allies. Everybody shows up. You have Luke Cage, you got Iron Fist. All the defenders are here, or most of the defenders are here. Let's take a look at that one more time.
Love that body slam.
Yep, like I said, she summons her heroic allies, causing enemies to not only be paralyzed, removes their removes any debuffs, while also buffing yourselves overall critical rate and damage. And that does it for Jessica Jones. I just like watching it. Let's take a look at it one more time.
Yeah, let's watch one more. And
we are going to see a little again, of course, because a couple other characters received awakened skills. But like I said, we'll go over that. Anyway, so that does it for Jessica Jones's new uniform, so you all can look forward to that. And yeah, so in the meantime, you guys can go ahead and leave in the comments what you guys think of her current skill set and uniform.
Very cool.
Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Look, of course, her love interest, that is Luke Cage. This is Luke Cage in her Uptown uniform. What can you tell us about the Uptown uniform?
Well, it does involve Luke Cage's classic yellow. However, this is the uniform he was wearing notably in Power Man and Iron Fist, which came out in 2016. It's a classic Heroes for Hire tale with old friends, crime, magic, punching, and bromances.
Romances and punching, that sums up the Luke Cage in general. Okay.
All the things I like.
So again, because it's in uniform, we have a couple of passive skill increases as well. So passive skill increases have been changed for his Unbreakable skill, his Power Man skill, and his Heroes for Hire. For example, for Power Man, in addition to, of course, his usual reflected damage stat, he also gains an additional 30% increase to his health. Not only that, for his Unbreakable passive skill, a different change would be when below 99%, he gains an HP percent increase to his HP, a little bit of recovery there. His Hero for Hire stat has been changed as well, but we don't have the information just yet, so you can look forward to that in the patch notes. That does it for passive skills. Let's move on to his actual skills.
Active skills. Nice entrance.
Dynamic entrance. Of course, again, Brawler combat character. Open up with skill number 1, which is the Stone Plate Swing.
Whoa.
Again, one thing I love about all the defenders there is they literally use the street. They literally use the street.
They're from
to
the
defend
streets, and you're gonna know it.
And of course, leaves the enemies stunned as you do. Next up is the Hard Fist. Because it's a punch from Luke Cage, I would assume it's a very hard fist. So there you go. No additional stats that come with that. Next, we're going to use the warming up. Again, not necessarily attack, it's more like just a buff. And what comes with this buff, not only do you gain a little bit of a damage immunity, it also increases your overall attack buff, and not only that, helps you accumulate a warm up for true damage.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm going to move on to our friends over here. They look lonely.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
we're gonna
do.
open up
Want to
with
give them a
skill
hug?
Number 4. Oh, I don't think they want a hug from Cage. Alright, this skill is actually referred to as the ground crash. You see, it opens up and it just slams it down.
Oh, that's why it's called.
Again, this is actually another defense down attack. So what this attack actually does, not only does it, remove. Sorry, give me a brief moment here.
Nice.
It's actually incapacitates enemies. Like I said, a lot of info. It's hard to keep track with everything. Again, so this is a skill that actually incapacitates foes, causing them to removes a bit of the target's buffs, while also again decreasing their enemy's overall defense.
Very cool.
So Diddy, I'm gonna go ahead and refresh, get the group all together again. Skill number 5 is the violent charge. So he kind of dashes in, just giving them a barrage of punches. Take a look at that again.
Oh, nice.
Alright, this little ditty also, again, is a defense down attack. Not only that, also, let's see. Again, yeah, fun times for all. Yeah, so leaving enemies stunned, fractured, while also penetrating their defense. And of course, again, he has a little, of course, as you can see, has a 6 skill. Let's go ahead and test it out. Let's do it on this one loner over here.
Seems fair.
Again, this attack offers the same buffs same buffs and overall stats as Jessica Jones's skill. The only difference is that little ending little attack where he actually, if you see him watch him closely, he actually jumps in the air, gives him a nice little body slam just to end it. No survivors at the end of this attack.
The body slam's my favorite part.
He just got a little punch. Boop. Okay, now with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to Iron Fist.
All right.
Okay, so Iron Fist has a new uniform, and I believe, if I get the name of this correct, what is the name of this uniform, Kim?
You don't have it in front of you?
I do, actually. It's the living weapon. I just wanted to test your skills there. So this is the living weapon uniform, which is a new uniform. What can you tell us overall?
Well, I will say that while I did mention Power Man and Iron Fist earlier for Luke Cage, this is an original uniform. This does not appear in the comic or any other comics. It's unique.
That's right. And of course, with the new uniform, we're going to go ahead and briefly review some of his passive skills. So an effect was changed. So it's some effects. So this actually has 5 new skills. And for his uniform effect, a change has been made to his Charging Chi, Power of Xiao. I really hope I'm pronouncing that correct. And also the Heart of Xiao. For example, for the Charging Chi passive skill, it increases his skill and bonus damage by up to 25%, while also again keeping the normal the present skills like stats that go along with his passive skill.
Love that active fighting stance.
Yes, I would say he's very animated. He's prepared for anything, as you have to do when you're the defender of Kung Lao. And also we have Power of Xiao Lao, which offers a 10% chance so there's a 10% chance while attacking to actually grant you a 30% buff to your overall attack, which is different from his original skill, which actually increases over his critical rate.
Cool.
And lastly, for the Heart of Xiao Lao, again, that is also a leader skill. We don't have that skill information just yet, but again, that's something to look forward to in the actual patch notes. So now let's move on to his skills. All right, so he of course has 5 new skills that come with the uniform. The first skill is not a new skill. This is just the Chi of Flying Crane. Just looks nice all the time. Gives a little kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's pretty big for skill 1.
Skill 1, of course, and also that's not even the new skill. Now we're going to move on to the new skills, which is the Infinite Chain Hit. Interesting name. Take a look one more time. Let's get these guys over here.
Yeah, get them in a roll.
Yep, this is an energy attack that actually causes paralysis.
Bull.
Sweet. Next is skill 3, which is the Chi Flow. Can move up a little closer. Again, this is another buff attack.
Attack more just like his buddy.
Buff. Yeah. This actually increases your energy attack by 30%, while also granting you immunity and the ability to accumulate true damage. So he's all set to go. So next up is skill 4. This is referred to as Xiao Lao's Wrath. Take a look at that one more time. And you see Spirit of Xiaolao just comes up. Again, really hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly.
It's there and it's wrathful. I love that.
Yep, this is another
that
energy
tail
attack
curl.
that causes burn damage,
Yeah.
and also again decreasing your enemy's defense. That's always a useful stat that's always useful. Again, anything relating to defense down. Okay, well, these guys over here look lonely, so I'm going to go ahead and test the 5th skill on them.
Whoa.
That's a lot of fists. I just also like the little, broken glass
That's a lot.
effect. Let's take a look at it from this angle. This is
Whoa.
referred to as the Immortal attack. Yep, it's called the Immortal attack. It's the Immortal attack.
It's very
This
bright.
is another energy
Yeah.
attack that also grants silence while also penetrating your armor, your opponent's overall defense, such as their shield and their overall armor. Now, let's see what the one we've been waiting for. We want to see the Awakening skill. This is the Awakening skill, referred to as the Immortal Chi Strike. So, we're going to get our defending allies to come again. Then
Whoa.
ends, and then Xiaolao comes again,
Whoa.
delivers that final blow. This helpful attack, actually, again, as I mentioned in the previous skills, again, actually removes debuffs while also granting a buff to your overall critical and defensive skills, while of course also ending with the Spirit of Xiaolao, ending the attack. That is the 5th skill. I just want to see that one again. And then lastly, we're going to end it again with the final attack, the Awakening skill.
He's just charging up.
And good to go.
Yeah.
And of course, the developers are gracious enough to actually give us some tips as well. So some final tips they granted us with Iron Fist. They said to use skill 3 with the buff, which we mentioned earlier before. It also decreases enemies' defense using skill 4. And their overall recommended combo are skills 3, 4, and 5. So let's open up again, get that buff, give them, make use of that debuff in the 4th skill, then end it with the 5th skill. And there you go. That has it for all the new uniforms for some of the characters. But again, we have a couple other things to move on to. Kim, what do you say?
Let's look at our new character.
That's right. So again, we have a new character, not from the streets necessarily. So this is characters come from a little bit from further beyond, and that is Ikarus. Kim, what can you tell us about Ikarus?
So Ikarus is an Eternal, and as you might guess, the Eternals are very long-lived. They are practically immortal, and they all have amazing superpowers. Ikarus, being the leader, has a few extra special moves up his sleeve, and he has been in existence as part of human history for a very, very long time.
That's right. So a little brief thing about Ikarus, of course. Now he is a universal character. For those of you who wanted to know what character he would end up being, he has a couple passive skills. So passive skills, would, for example, are a couple we have listed here are Eternal Rebirth. This grants you super armor, will also do a little bit of a defense buff, and that when you are below 99% health, he actually gains a 4% recovery based on his max HP. Also, we have for his T2 passive skill, we have Cosmic Endurance. This grants a little bit of a buff to your skill and bonus damage, while also decreasing damage received to you by 30%. So that's I think that's pretty useful buff once you get him to T2. So little something for you. So let's
He's
move on.
the leader of the Eternals. He's gotta do it up.
Got to live up to that reputation. So let's take a look at his active skills. All right, take a look at his basic attack. He pummels enemies. Interesting. Next up is skill 1. This is the Warrior's Fist.
Nice.
Pretty basic attack. This is an energy-based attack, while it also stuns and incapacitates your foes. Also a little bit of a silence there too. Next up is skill 2. This is referred to as the Hero's Advance. As you can see there, enemies are actually left a bit of a burn stat, while also ignores a percentage of their target's overall dodge rate. Not defense.
I like how this looks because Ikarus is actually notable for being especially fast among Eternals.
And get these guys with another third attack. Third attack is the Salvation Blow. Again, you see a lot of burn damage used in these skills. It also grants you damage immunity while also being able to accumulate true damage, similar to the other heroes that we mentioned earlier in the stream. Let's hit him with the 4th skill. This is the Eternal Blast. This is an attack that causes paralysis, as you can see there, while also decreasing the enemy's defenses. Also granting you a little bit of invincibility as well. I think these guys have had enough. Let's take a look at these guys over here. They seem lonely, but don't worry. Ikarus has a little something special for you. This is his 5th skill, which is the Surging Anger skill. He's moving to and through about. Again, this is another burning theme attack. Again, decreases enemies' defense while also penetrating their overall defense. Also, check it again. I believe it also causes stun and fear.
He seems mad.
It makes sense. I mean, again, if you make an Eternal angry, it only makes sense where fear would actually be involved. So
yeah, I'd be scared.
Yeah, I would be too. Most people should be. Anyway, that does it for the new character for Ikarus. But I do believe we have something more.
Do we?
We do. We'll go ahead and move on to the character which you've all been waiting for. Again, the streets have been. He's heard the cries for justice, and now he's ready with a new look and a little something more. Let's move on to Daredevil.
That's right.
Now, he looks a little bit different than his previous uniforms. Kim, what can you tell us about this uniform in particular?
Well, this uniform is from a specific comic line I will tell you a little bit about later, but it is called Fall from Grace, and in it, Daredevil needs a new reinforced uniform, and he ends up building this, making it all himself, but with stronger materials for the different foes he is going to face in it. And it was a very iconic look from when it was made in the 90s.
That's right. Yeah, it definitely is different. I do like the fact that it has nice little armor, so he has a little bit of a higher defense, looks like, for his for the challenges ahead. But let's go ahead and talk about more about his passive skills. So he only has one little skill change that goes for his passive skill, referred to as the radar sense. So instead of the dodge rate increase that was seen in his in his earlier uniforms, it's changed to have looks like his ignore target dodge rate has been increased by 70%. He also, other than that, he also gets a 5% increase to his 50% increase to his recovery when dodging. So something to look forward to. So that goes for his passive skills. Let's move on to what we really want to see, and those are those skills in action. Yeah, let's get people
making himself known.
We're all together. All right, let's open up with skill number 1.
Nice.
This is referred to as the brutal slash. In basic attack, again, just simple but effective. It leaves the enemy stunned. Do it one more time. Sweet. All right, this is skill number 2. This is criminal extraction. So if you notice a little stat there, let's take a look at that one more time. Enemies are actually left stunned and also blind. I'm sorry, this binds them together. Next, skill 3 is called sensory focus. This is actually a counter skill. You notice he kind of pauses for a brief moment. This again, like I said, mentioned, this is a counter skill. But again, even in the event he wasn't attacked, he still ends up attacking. I'm actually going to go ahead and have the AI attack try. Okay, so what makes this skill actually effective is that, again, this is, as I mentioned, this is a counter skill, but also causes paralysis, fracture, and again, and as he's holding his stance there, it actually helps to accumulate true damage, and again, he gets to deal more damage based off the damage that he's been receiving.
Very good.
Very useful skill. And then turn off AI because we don't want the visuals to be ruined by all him and his
those pew pews.
So
yeah.
this is actually the 4th skill. This is referred to as Fallen Retaliation, which sounds similar to the title you mentioned, which is for his uniform referred to as Fall from Grace. Let's take a look at that one more time, where he uses the staff. Yeah, it's fine. I'm sorry, I just like watching this one. This is a stat that also again decreases your enemy's defense while buffing your overall stats while guaranteeing you brief invincibility.
There's just a lot going on.
It is. If you notice, he actually brings all the enemies in, and then if you notice, they all spread out a bit. So, fun times. You gather them a little bit one more time. Refresh here for a second. Get our friends gathered together. Hello. Okay, we're good to go. So, I'm going to check out his 5th skill, because his T3 skill is ready, which we'll go into that in just a moment. We'll take a look at the 5th skill, as I mentioned. This is referred to as the Staff Strike. I'm going to do it again on these guys over here. This is another defense down attack, causing fracture while incapacitating foes, while again also removing the buffs.
Solid.
So again, these skills, they're all fine and dandy, but we know what you really want to see. You want to see cool T3 skill, which is always fun.
We
and better
know
way
what
to
you
name it?
came for.
Yeah, we know why you're here. So let's take it out. Let's take it out. This is Final Punishment.
Nice. Ah!
So for those of you who read the comics, of course, you'll notice a little callback. You see just the way like again, everything is just kind of dark. You see things that are similar to his vision. We're gonna go ahead and warm
It's
up.
how he senses things.
Yes, we're gonna go ahead and warm up.
We all know he's blind, but this is his. It's really cool because that's how it's typically depicted in comics. Is that particular look?
That's right. So let me go ahead and, so we're all ready. So we're going to go ahead and use our T3 skill one more time as I go ahead and go over the stats. So it makes this skill interesting. So not only does it silence foes, foes have a 100% attack of missing you for a brief amount of time, while at the same time you have a 100% chance of going past their their overall dodge rate. Of course, it grants you 40% attack. It gives you a 40% buff to one of your attacks. And again, overall, it's just a fun attack. Visually, it's fantastic. Again, enemies can't hit you for a set amount of time, and their dodge rate is ignored 100% for a brief amount of time as well. So fun overall, and again, visually it's just fun. I love the callback to the comic. I love that iconic over the shoulder pose as well.
Yeah, classic man without fear pose.
That's right. And that does it for the new characters.
All right, that was awesome. Thank you, Cage.
But of course, there is a little bit of something extra we have. So of course, this wasn't teased in the initial teasers, but we do have something else that the developers want us to show you. We're going to go ahead and go through this. So before I get into it, I'm just going to slowly get into the game mode. So a new feature, or not a feature, an updated feature has been added to World Boss Legend. Now we all know it's quite challenging, right? So maybe some of you think, no, it's not challenging enough, or hey, I want a little bit more diversity. We will say a new challenge has been added to World Boss Ultimate, a rather hellish challenge. So that's because a new boss has been added to World Boss Ultimate. And for those of you who haven't
A diabolical one, if you will.
And for those of you who've already skipped ahead and can see within the game screen itself, Mephisto has been added to World Boss Legend. So heads up, I'm gonna get my butt kicked because we've just been given this this feature. I have had no time to actually delve in and be able to.
You haven't practiced this.
Well, not only have I practiced, I have no tools whatsoever. I have no good comic cards. I have no good gear, no CTP. I'm gonna get my butt kicked. But the developers, were very insistent that we show you this, and hey, we're excited to show you this. You're not only gonna see my butt get kicked, you're gonna see it get kicked in style by Mephisto. So let's check it out.
You know what I want to see.
So just gonna see if I can edit some of the new characters in action as well.
All right. Now, before we razz Cage, just know he doesn't have the extra help he normally would have equipped.
Am I blind? Where's Ikarus? In here. Hey, Jessica Jones. Okay, cool. Get Jessica Jones there. Can I get Luke Cage in there? Yeah, boy. All right, let's get started. I'm just gonna go.
You got your strategy set?
No strategy. We're just gonna dive right in.
Oh no!
I can already tell players are raging just by the fact that all my strikers are garbage. But like I said, we're here for your entertainment.
This is for you to beat later. That's your feature. Audience.
See Mephisto. All right.
All right.
So I'm going to use some of the recommended skills granted by the developers.
Provided.
So we're using skill 3.
Okay.
Get some skill 4 and then his 5th skill in there. So I can get at least his T3 active.
All right. You're not dead yet. There's still hope.
This is a horrendous idea.
You just, you have to be okay with failing a little bit. Because being bad at things is the first step at being good at them.
That's true. I don't think the fans will agree. But... Okay, let's get that T3 going.
Listen, Cage is human like us. He's not an Eternal. He's not a defender.
This is very hang on, I forgot.
He's just a man doing his best.
There's something special. If you notice, there are these circles here. So you actually do want to get on these circles, because if you get on these circles in time, a little special guest will join, and if you can see, if he shows up, yep, Doctor Strange is going to come in and help me out.
Yay! Ooh, Doctor Strange, get your foe.
He helped me out for a little bit, but I'm honestly very surprised. I have very little way in terms of to defeat him.
Come on,
but Daredevil
you got
held his
this.
own. I don't think I have any good I don't have anything. Oh, he tried. All right,
Oh,
Jessica.
well, here's
Let
Jewel.
me save me. All right. Now, if I do recall, if I can survive long enough, I do believe I have Jessica Jones's combo, and I hope I can reveal that as I'm trying to survive. Oh, move. Oh, yeah, she says she's still alive. Okay.
So if you fail to activate all the magic circles in time, something bad happens.
Yeah, I believe that skill will do a lot more
You will
damage.
be killed
Yes.
by rage attack.
So I'm trying to get Jessica to live long enough so I can also read my notes and also try to give off the combo at the same time. Okay, let's try this. Get the Awakening skill. So the developers gave us their combo. They recommend opening it up with skill 3, so you can get that buff. And also her skill 4 and works as a debuff, as we mentioned before. So the recommended skill combo, she died, so I wasn't able to give the combo. But for those of you who are watching, her good recommended skill combo are 3, 4, 5.
Get
1,
on
and
those
2.
circles.
I'm not paying attention. I'm not paying attention.
Get on the
okay,
circles.
Get in the circles. All right. Nope. All right. So we'll find out what happens.
Oh no!
So
Here comes the instant death.
If you notice, didn't make the circles in time. Mephisto wiped the floor with me. So get on those circles. So let me go ahead and review briefly the
Okay,
notes.
so here's some tips.
Okay. Go ahead and please share the tips for me.
When Mephisto gets hit, his rage gauge accumulates, and when it's full, he will cast Rage Attack. Rage Attack will kill you.
That's right.
Or it can kill you.
And also the fight consists of a total of 3 different phases. Mephisto actually changes within each of these phases. And of course, when he changes on these different phases, of course, the attack pattern changes as well. So this is going to cause a lot of strategic thinking that you're going to have to do, and finding out which characters work, which skills, combos, and stuff. Basically, yeah, the whole everything. So we look for, again, I got my butt kicked. I guarantee plenty of you can do infinitely better than the stuff I currently had going on here. So we look forward to seeing you guys play. Go ahead and share it, on Facebook. Show us what you can do. I guarantee you guys will do a lot better. So we look forward to seeing it.
You got to come to these prepared. You cannot face Mephisto with no plan.
Don't do what Cage did.
No,
Not
don't
Luke
do
Cage.
this.
Don't do it. Don't do what this Cage did.
But just remember, those circles are important.
Again, that does it for some of the new features for the V6. I'm sorry, my head's hitting my tech guy is eyeing me right now. Apparently, I'm slamming the table too hard. I apologize for that. For those of you who's hearing, I may have damage. Apologize. Keep my hands raised. So that does it for the feature for the v690 update. We have, again, new uniforms. We have a new character with Ikarus from the Eternals. Daredevil has received his T3, and we have a new update coming out for v690, and that is the Mephisto for World Boss Legend. There you go.
Very good. Well, before we wrap it up, I do want to talk a little bit about some comics, because you all know I love Marvel comics. And particularly, if we can get I'll just talk by myself. I want to talk in particular about Daredevil, our T3 character today. And he came from Daredevil Fall from Grace by D.G. Chichester and Scott McDaniel did the art. This is Daredevil 319 through 325, coming out in 1994, which was the 30th anniversary of the character. So this is notable because this brought Daredevil's iconic look from the 90s into existence. And it does actually follow Frank Miller's run of Daredevil and holds over several elements introduced from that line of comics, that very notable line. So basically, just in a nutshell in the storyline, it is very dark and it is a harder read to get through, but I do think it's worth it. There is a virus called About Face that went missing decades earlier when a telepath named Eddie dropped it in a mission. But Eddie does have connection to it, of course. He's a telepath. And what About Face does, this virus, is it is able to give the user the ability to change their physical form and attributes at will. So in that case, everybody wants it. Snake Root, which is an organization with ties to the Hand, want it. So does Venom, Morbius, Hellspawn, and Silver Sable. And Daredevil's main goal is to protect Eddie from all of these different characters coming at him, trying to claim this massive power for themselves. Daredevil ends up, he destroys his original red uniform and has to build a new one out of reinforced, stronger materials. So he has this armor, which he carries on with him throughout all this. And there's a lot of things that happen, but real quick, Hellspawn, a demon who was one of the beings searching for About Face, does actually get his hands on it and uses it to become human. That's all he wanted. He wanted to be a real boy.
Oh.
And he ends up looking exactly like Daredevil. And then he dies. So Matt Murdock, being ever resourceful, decides to use that dead look-alike Daredevil body to fake his death. And he forgets to tell Foggy and Karen. I'm going to generously say he forgot to tell them.
He forgot.
Which is
That
unfortunate.
sounds like a horrible thing to do.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. He was not very good as a partner to Foggy in this whole scenario as well. But then Daredevil goes on to use this armor to fight against the likes of the King of Demons himself, Mephisto. So it all comes around in this update, my friend.
Sounds good. Tell me, does it end well for Daredevil?
You're just going to have to read it and find out.
Okay. Well, that's like it. Based off my knowledge, it never really ends well for Daredevil or his friends. So hopefully,
it never ends happily.
Can I be hopeful and hope that it just ends happily in my mind, or do I have?
Yes, they all go out for ice cream.
Excellent. I don't have to read the comic then. Excellent. So maybe you guys can read the comic, and maybe you guys can find a better ending. But in my mind,
or you can find the true ending, which is not that.
So the sad ending. Okay, we'll just have to go with that. But
hey, man, good stories need good drama. And good drama is rarely found at the ice cream shop.
Can't it be, though?
We can dream. But yeah, that about does it for our entire stream. But we had a lot of stuff today, Cage.
We did.
We had uniforms for every single defender, our 4 heroes. 2 of them are for hire. And then we also have the Dawn of Ikarus, the T3 for Daredevil, and of course, Mephisto has made his debut.
His devilish debut.
His diabolical debut. I can't really waggle my eyebrows. Just gonna have to imagine it.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, we had a lot to go over, but of course, there's more for the fans to catch up on, right, Cage?
That's right. Of course, whenever it comes to new patches, as we mentioned, there was some information we weren't able to include within this actual live stream as well. So keep an eye out for the patch notes. They'll provide all the info that you need. And of course, we'll soon start putting the survey link within the chat very, very soon. So for those of you that are on Facebook, please keep an eye out. And very shortly, the link to the survey will be put into the video description. We aren't able to put the link within the chat itself. So what's going to happen is after the comments, there'll be a comment that will let you know that the survey will be within the description. When that happens, refresh the page. That's when it'll be active and visible. And then from there, you can take on the survey.
Grab it right there and claim your in-stream reward.
That's right.
You watched it.
Anyway,
so you may as well enjoy the extra benefits besides knowledge.
Of course, folks, that's all the content overall for the v690 stream. Thank you so much for joining us again. It's nice to be live with all of you, being able to see several of the comments go through there. Thank you, of course, for being dedicated fans and watching and enjoying the game overall. We look forward to seeing more of your comments when the v690 update goes live later on. So, like I said, stay tuned to the various channels. Of course, we're on Instagram, Twitter, and of course, Facebook as well. And of course, many of you are watching on YouTube, so a special hi to all of you. And that does it for the stream.
All right, everyone. Take care, agents, and till next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.